What's up, guys? Welcome to G Whiskey. My name's Jeff. This is a channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and every once in a while throw in other whiskey-related content. Today, I want to go through a list. I'll be listing off 5 whiskeys that I would pour for 5 different types of whiskey snob. Stick around. Alright, so it's a list today. We're going through 5 whiskeys to impress 5 different kinds of whiskey snobs. This is kind of a shoot-off or a branch-off from the You Can Only Have 5 Whiskeys challenge that's been circulating on YouTube for a good while now. I had fun with that challenge and I figured I'd make my own. This was inspired by the Impress Your Guests part of that challenge, and the question that kept on popping up when people came to this bit was, who are your guests and how knowledgeable are they? And for the sake of this video, we're going to make them into whiskey snobs. And the guests that we're inviting over are going to be as follows. We've got the PEAT Freak, we've got the Sherry Bomber, we've got the Purist, we've got the Luxury Lover, and we've got the Age Snob. And I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I'm going to give you 2 options for each of the categories. The first option will be the main one, and that'll be what I would pour for them if money weren't a factor. But then I also want to throw in a more budget-friendly alternative because I'm a cheap bastard and I don't like spending money. By the way, if you want to help support the channel, you can find me at patreon.com/G. Finally, stick around after the list. I do have a mystery pour in my glass here. This one fits into a bonus category. And I'm sure some of you are probably thinking, Jeff, why don't you just make it 6 whiskeys for 6 different types of whiskey snobs instead of 5 plus a bonus category? And my question to you is, where's the fucking drama in that? So yeah, it's a really good whiskey. It fits into a fun category. Again, make sure you stick around after the list. And I guess that's all of our bases covered. So let's jump into it. These are 5 whiskeys I would pour to impress 5 different kinds of whiskey snob. In the meantime, if you'll kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. Alright, so we're going to kick things off with our PEAT Freak. The PEAT Freak obviously loves his peaty, smoky whiskeys, and PEAT Freaks tend to love maximum flavors, so I thought a cask strength option would be a good way to go here. If you've been watching the channel recently, my pick is not going to surprise you. I went with the Port Charlotte OLC 01. This one is from their Cask Exploration series, which, by the way, is one of my favorite lines of whiskeys that's out today. It is kind of annoying that they're limited edition and that they do sell out, but tell you what, if you can't find the OLC specifically, you can substitute in any other whiskey from the Cask Exploration line. They're all incredible. These whiskeys are complex, they're layered, they're engaging, they're delicious. Even though they're on the younger side, these are some of the finest whiskeys that I own. The OLC is probably my favorite from the line, at least in terms of ones that I've owned full bottles of. Incredible stuff, easily good enough to impress any kind of PEAT Freak you're having over. So yeah, Port Charlotte OLC 01, great whiskey. Otherwise, you can seek out the PAC or the MRC if you can still find it. The SC01 is newer, it should still be available. Plenty of great whiskeys from the line. The issue with these whiskeys is that they can be a little bit expensive. So if we don't want to spend as much, if we want a more budget-friendly alternative, go for the 10. I'm staying on brand. Port Charlotte 10, incredible stuff. Won't break the bank. And most PEAT Freaks absolutely love this stuff. Easy. Next up, we've got the Sherry Bomber, and the Sherry Bomber is a little bit similar to the PEAT Freak in the sense that they like very dramatic whiskeys, and they tend to like maximum intensity. So once again, I thought a cask strength option would do the trick. And for this one, I'm going with the Bunna 12 cask strength. This is another predictable choice. I have been carrying on about this whiskey recently, but it's so good. It's fruity, it's intense, it's dense, it's layered, it's complex, and our casks here did exactly what we want them to do, which is they added a lot of flavor, a lot of complexity, but they never overwhelmed the base spirit. Guys, this is incredible stuff. I haven't reviewed it yet. I am going to review it sometime in the near future, and when I do me a favor, pretend you're surprised when I give it a very high score, because I love this stuff. So definitely a really good one to impress your Sherry Bomber friend. Otherwise, if we need a more budget-friendly offering, I'm going to give you something that isn't my personal favorite, but pretty much every Sherry Bomber I know loves it, and that's the GlenAllachie 12. It is a very good whiskey and it's naturally presented. It is delicious. Again, not my preferred style, but I do think it's going to make any Sherry Bomber you're having over very happy. Next up, we've got the Purist, and these guys tend to be pretty hard to impress. They don't need much, if any, wine or sherry cask influence in their whiskey. They might not even need very much peat. They tend to prefer things that are bourbon matured, and even then, the less first fill, the better. They want to taste the distillate, and they don't want any noise from the casks. And for this one, I'm going for Bladnoch 11. Now, the one I had was the 2021 release. I reviewed it a while back. I gave it a very high score. It definitely divided people. A lot of people picked up the bottle based on my recommendation and were disappointed. Other people loved it. So it's a love it or hate it type of whiskey. It is orchardy and fermenty, kind of funky. It's a weird whiskey. Yeasty. Yeasty is a good word. Anyway, I checked the website. The website does say that there was some California red wine casks involved in maturation here. I did not detect that at all. I'm sure there was some first fill bourbon as well, so it wasn't all like refill bourbon casks. So I guess I am kind of cheating a little bit, but regardless, given the flavor profile that we're getting from this stuff, it's still one I would recommend for the purist, very distillate driven, as long as you're cool with the weird flavors. Mine is the 11-year-old release from 2021. There's since been other releases. I can't speak to their quality. Apparently the 10-year-old was spectacular, but good luck finding it at this point. If you can, grab it. Yeah, just a really great, interesting whiskey to show the purist. No guarantees if they like it, but it's fun to spice things up a bit. Now, for our alternative that's more budget friendly, there's nothing else I could pick really. It's got to be Glencadam 10. If you haven't had Glencadam 10 yet, go grab it. It's affordable, it's fresh, it's bright, it's distillate driven, delicious stuff. Next up, we've got the Luxury Lover, and the Luxury Lover is a little bit different from the Age Snob, although there is admittedly a lot of overlap there. The Age Snob specifically seeks out that higher age statement. The Luxury Lover is looking for luxurious presentation and luxurious flavors. Basically, we may or may not have a higher age statement, but our bottle and our presentation need to be elegant and luxurious looking, and the whiskey needs to taste expensive. By the way, at this point, I should say that this list is just for fun. I don't actually have any friends like this. If someone marches into my house and says, give me your oldest whiskey or give me your most expensive whiskey, it's the only thing I'll drink, I'm probably gonna tell them to fuck off. Anyway, just for fun, just for the sake of the video, my pick for my luxury whiskey is Hibiki 21. Now, this is one I picked up not too long ago. They had a great deal at Tokyo Airport, so I bought it for way less than it's selling for right now. It is overpriced, to say the very least. It is a great whiskey. It's elegant, it's subtle, it's nuanced. It's not a loud, in-your-face type of whiskey, but it does taste expensive. But yeah, if the day comes that I've got some swanky, upscale, fancy pants guests in my house, Hibiki 21 should do the trick. But now we got to move on to the affordable alternative. And this was probably the toughest whiskey to cook up for this list, for this video, just because it needs to taste and look expensive, but also be relatively budget friendly. That's a pretty tall order. I'm going to Tamdhu 12. It's a soft, delicate whiskey. It's got some nice indulgent sherry notes in there. The price is reasonable. We have this beautiful Art Deco bottle, and it's got a character that I would describe as luxurious. So if we're looking for luxury on a budget, Tamdhu 12. Last up on our list, we've got the Age Snob. Now, you should not have an Age Snob as your friend. He will cost you a lot of money, and he's probably very fucking pretentious. Really, if it were up to me, I'd probably give him something like the OLC 01, which is 9 years old, and it's, as I said, one of the best whiskeys I own, just to prove a point that age isn't everything, and we don't need these high age statements to have great whiskey. But this is a list. We got to follow the rules of the list, and we have a guest over. He's very demanding. It's up to me to satisfy his needs and give him what he wants. Poor choice of words. But yeah, if this dude insists on a higher age statement, I'll give him one of the older whiskeys that I own that is absolutely incredible. Let's pretend I actually like this person. He's getting some Talisker 25. Talisker 25 is a gorgeous whiskey. It is complex, layered, very nuanced, very sophisticated. So whether it's the Luxury Lover or the Age Snob, Talisker 25 will not fail to impress. At least it's going to impress the friend who's drinking it. It will not impress your girlfriend when she finds out how much money you spent on it. Not impressed at all. But you know what? It's not even her money. Finally, we do need an affordable alternative here, and this is a tough one because not a lot of whiskeys are 18 years or older that are affordable. In fact, none these days. So we do have to look at it within the category of being an older whiskey. And I think my pick here is going to be pretty predictable. I went with Legic 18. Not a lot of whiskeys are cheaper at 18 years, and not a lot of whiskeys are better at 18 years. It's a great whiskey, wonderful stuff, should impress your Age Snob friend. Also don't have age snob friends. Okay, so that was the list. Those are the whiskeys that I would pour for 5 different types of whiskey snob. Obviously, I do want to send the question out to you guys. What are you pouring for the Peat Freak, for the Sherry Bomber, for the Purist, for the Luxury Lover, for the Age Snob? Let me know down below in the comments. Now, finally, for those of you who stuck around to find out what my mystery pour in the glass is here, this whiskey fits into my final totally made up category, and that totally made up category is the IB Lover. Now, IB lovers love their IBs. Shocking, I know. And what I'm pouring for the IB Lover is Watt Whiskey 16-year-old from an undisclosed Highland distillery. This is an absolutely beautiful, layered, rich, complex whiskey. Now, they don't tell us where this whiskey comes from, so there's no way for us to know. But guys, this is one of the best Glenmorangies I've ever had. This stuff beats the hell out of anything from Glenmorangie's core range, and it would be a great whiskey to show to your IB lover friend. Really impressive stuff. Check it out if you get the chance. Also, FYI, if any of these snobs are going to be your friends, let it be this guy. There's nothing wrong with being a Sherry Bomber or a Purist or a Peat Freak. Please don't make friends with age snobs or luxury lovers. IB guys. Awesome. And it seems like we've covered everything for today, so we're going to call it a day. Thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, we'll do the Patreon thing, the like, comment, and subscribe. Truly appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you next time. Bye.